This is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Oh, baby! What a game! This is Devils After Dark, coming to you live from the Primetime Radio studios in beautiful New Jersey, in the bunker, and Scotty's bunker in Beverly Hills, California, as the Devils beat the Pittsburgh Penguins 2-1 in overtime, and they just changed the channel at American Whiskey. Now they have the football game on. They turned us off.
Turn it back, Sam Wu. You have the power.
Should I? You know what? You want to? Let's do something funny here. Let's turn it back just to make them mad. Because, yeah. All right. So, So we're at American Whiskey right now. I see the football game on.
Yeah.
If you want to, should we cause a commotion?
Go ahead. Let's see their reaction after.
All right. Hold on a sec. I'll change.
Let's have some fun.
Yeah, let's have some fun. First, I'll turn the volume on at American Whiskey.
Right? All right. There we go.
Yeah, I think they're going to be mad. I think they're going to be mad. Oh, well.
Oh, boy.
But it's Devils After Dark, right?
I see other TVs with the football game on in the background.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Devils After Dark.
Okay.
We're in
see
prime
Peyton. Is that Alejandra? I can't make it out there. We got Frank the Tank hanging around. Everybody at American Whiskey celebrating a big Devils victory. 2-1 OT style. Learning how to do the Dougie. I think that's what's happening. Sam Wu said if Dougie Hamilton scored an overtime goal today, he was going to do the Dougie on Devils After Dark.
Did I say that?
That's right. Yeah, you did. Sam Wu dance moves. That's what we're talking about here on Devils After Dark today. Everybody wants to see it, Dan. Sam. I said, damn. I put Dougie and Sam together there, and I got damn. Everyone wants to see the dance moves of the king of the football calls, Sam Wu. Hello to everyone on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch, and everyone over there at American Whiskey. Celebrating a big Devils victory, a home victory, which have been few and far between this year because the Devils were just about 500 at 11-10. Well, that was their 12th home victory going into the bonus hockey period there to get it done with 1/3 of the big three there. Maybe you want to say the big four there with Jesper Bratt as well. We can throw them in there. Hey, big four. We'll go heavy metal style. Just like Slayer, Metallica, Megadeth, and Anthrax. We'll go big four for the Devils with Bratt, Hamilton, Heischer, and Hughes. Well, let's talk about it. Game number 46. Bastian was back in there. We know he was kind of limited in his first game back. But nothing going on there. Hoytuk out, which was a little strange to me. Kevin Ball in. He had a couple plays where he got burned. He did throw one hit, but not surprising. Hoytuk out of the lineup, and the Devils were lacking in the physical presence during this game. But this is a big 4-point game in the division. Penguins are, I believe, the second wildcard team right now. Devils want to keep on pace with the Carolina Hurricanes. So this was a huge game for the Devils. Those big games, Vitek Vanecek is back in net over there. Love seeing Vitek in there, and love seeing the big crowd at the Rock today on a massive football Sunday with the playoffs going on and everything like that. Even though the Giants, stunk it up yesterday. And we could talk about that a little later as well. Just some comparisons between the Devils and the Giants, and both having surprising seasons. But I'll share some thoughts on that and let me and get your feedback on it a little later. But let's talk about this game. Anything else I missed? Nope. Hoytuk out, ball in, game number 46. And, it started out with a couple good chances early for both teams. Vanecek came up big. Jari came up big. Nico Heischer had a really good chance early in the game. And then, much like we saw in the Seattle game, when we went off the rails on the gravy train there. Jack Hughes, we got a 30-goal scorer in New Jersey once again. I was trying to look this up real fast because I don't really know off the top of my head, but who is the fastest to 30 goals for the Devils? I'm not really sure. I was trying to do some really quick research. I think it might be a little more in-depth to figure out exactly who that is. But Jack Hughes in game 46 has hit the 30-goal plateau, 56 seconds into the game. Coming up the wing, as we've seen Jack do so many times this year, what we've actually seen from him, the Jack is now I'm liking to call it, is him shooting far side, coming up the wing, and then shooting far side, top shelf, just an impossible shot to get the aim on and to get on goal, but Jack's been doing it. This time he goes near side with that quick snapshot over there, and it fools Tristan Jarry for his 30th of the year. Assist coming from the Dougie man himself. Hamilton, that's his 29th at 56 seconds of the first period. Now, there had some other things that happened in this first period. Nico Hischier, I wasn't sure exactly what happened. It looked to me like he took a knee-on-knee hit, and then he got hit in the upper body just after that. I was concerned that there was a knee-on-knee collision, but out here in LA where I am, it was an NHL Network special, so I was listening to Jamie Hirsch and our good friend Weeksy, Kevin Weeks, on the call once again. I love hearing. Of course, don't get me wrong, Captain Bill Spaulding, of course, and Ken Danico are my favorites. But when I get Weeksy on the call out here in LA, it's a good day. So, damn, it was a good day. Going Ice Cube style. But Weeksy was talking about, it looked like Nico was favoring, ribs, chest area, stuff like that. Didn't really have a lot of jump for the rest of the game. Looked like he was just a little bit slower than his usual Nico Hischier self. He stayed on the bench after that. Miles Wood also got dinged up in the first period. He came back as well. But Sidney Crosby got the Pens on the board. And by the way, Nico's at a point per, well, I guess he's just under now. He was operating at a point per game. Did he get an assist on the last? He did get an assist on the Dougie goal, so he is still at a point per game right now. But Crosby got the Pens on the board at 6:25 of the first, so about 5 minutes later. A little scramble in front. Puck comes back out to Sidney Crosby, who kind of faked like he was going back to play defense, do some defensive coverage. He was open at the top of the face-off circle, and he was able to whip it home for his 22nd goal of the year. Snapshot, and yeah. Oh, boo, American whiskey. Boo. That's what I say. I say boo to you guys changing the football game back. Sam, you're muted, so boo to you as well.
I was about to say, football sucks. I think we're still on the loudspeaker, though.
Oh, okay.
The Steelers suck, too. Anyway.
Crosby got his 22nd goal there of the season at 6:25 of the first. Tied the game up, which we know it stayed that way for quite some time. Going back into the second, Nico came back out, was playing well. Both teams seem to be playing cautious. The Pens definitely dominated that second period. The Devils had I gotta look. They had very limited 2 shots on goal in the second period. Horrible. The Pens were pinning in the Devils. Kevin Ball, I don't know. He had like one big hit, but he also got burned on 2 different plays as well. Didn't like seeing that. But he hasn't played in such a long time, so I was wondering why. I wonder if there was a coach's decision just to get him in there. Ahoytuk, I thought, had been playing very solidly over the last 6-7 games in a row that he had played. I didn't hear anything about an injury to him, so hopefully everything is cool there, and it's just to get Ball back into the lineup for a little bit. But the Pens, we got to give a shout to Nico Hischier, because in the second period, Pens had the Devils pinned. The Pens had the Devils pinned in. That's what I'm trying to say. And Nico Hischier, injured as he is, came up with a huge shot block, which obviously caused him a bunch of pain, but he got the puck cleared. That's what a captain does. He goes out there and leads by example. And then Mr. Dougie, he had a wide open lane. Perfect view straight on with Tristan Jarry. And he decided to try and pass it over to Jack Hughes, which, okay, I'll give you that. Jack Hughes is the money man. Jackie boy just put up his 30th in the first period, so why not try to get it back to him there in the second? But the pass got broken up. But that huge lane that Dougie had there, I would say 99 times out of 100, Dougie's probably taking that shot. And a good portion of that time he's probably putting it home, too, in the back of the net. So Dougie makes a little mistake, but he goes and totally redeems himself a little later on in this game. Got to give a hat tip to Freeman on the Penguins. I don't know if anyone saw this or not, but Jack Hughes was wide enough for a shot, and Freeman went down to block the shot, and Jack kind of delayed, and Freeman was sliding across, and literally when Jack shot the puck, I thought that it was going to go off of Freeman's face. He blocked it with his hand, which was just in front of where his face was because he was sliding this way, and Jack was waiting for him to come by. Dude, I thought he was going to take a puck straight to the face. So hat tip to you, sir, for the balls and bravery to go down on that sort of thing. Sieves took a high sticking penalty, but the PK came through. The PK came through for the Devils, stopping the Pens. I don't even know if they had a shot on goal in their power plays. So good job there, but the Pens definitely dominated that second period. Coming out into the third, Miles Wood had a couple of big hits. Another penalty kill for the Devils. Vanecek made another highlight reel save. I think everyone on TV, I know Kevin Weeks and Jamie Hirsch from NHL Network, and both of them, by the way, Jamie did an incredible job doing that play-by-play. I think that might have been the first time I've actually heard her do play-by-play, and she was great with Kevin Weeks, for everyone who was out of the NJ market there and couldn't get Captain Bill Spaulding and Ken Danico. But Vanecek made it a hell of a save. I thought it was in. Everyone in the arena thought it was in. Jamie and Weeksy thought it was in. I'm sure Bill and Dano and Chico and Maddie, they probably all thought it was in as well. But Vanecek kind of got turned the opposite direction. He's facing this way, and the puck's coming around the other way. And so he kind of flops back and dives across with the old with the old goalie stick there, and just gets a piece of this shot with the stick paddle, which deflects it up and hits the post. I thought it went under the crossbar, but it hit the crossbar and bounced back out. What a hell of a save by Vanecek, diving back across and just getting a piece with that stick paddle over there. So kudos to Vitek for coming through. Love hearing those Vitek chants as well throughout the crowd. Sharon Govich also got tripped in the third period when he was coming into the Penguin zone. No call, mysteriously. So a little weird on that one. Jesper Bratt tried the jack coming up the wing and shooting it far side, top shelf. But Tristan Jarry was keen to that. And, he made the big save. Jarry played very well for the limited action that he got. The Devils played okay in that first period, a little lackadaisical, I would think, coming back home, long trip, early afternoon game. I thought maybe they might start a little bit slow. They only had 8 shots there in that first period, although the Penguins only had 6, but 2 in the second. They turned it on in the third, with 12 total shots there. They were really trying to make something happen. But we go into bonus hockey time in the OT. And it starts out, we know we love this 3-on-3. The Penguins actually can match up well with the Devils, obviously with the Malkin and the Crosby. I said Crosby again. Why am I calling him Crosby? Crosby and Gensel and all these other guys that the Penguins have. They don't have Chris Letang right now, who would be a huge help in that OT. But still, they are loaded with players. Even Jeff Carter, who's been around for like 20 years, I feel like now, is still someone who can make a play in OT like that. What's up, Sam? Would you want to say something?
You always made fun of me with the chin-chinum. Crosby.
With the chin-chinum, yeah.
The
Now I got
Crosby.
Crosby. I don't know why I keep calling him Crosby. Like, maybe I should just start that from now on. Just start calling him Sidney Crosby. I don't know why. That just keeps popping into my head over and over again. Am I thinking Daryl Strawberry or something? I'm not sure what's happening
It
here.
reminds me of that scene in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. What have you heard of a Crosby?
I don't know what's going on with me. I'm just a little kooky today. Maybe I'm just excited. Maybe it was all the disappointment from the Giants yesterday and all the excitement for the Devils today. But the OT starts 3-on-3. Jack and Seaves get a 2-on-1 going in, and you're like, oh, Severson, can you put it home? No, Tristan Jarry again comes up huge with the save. Turns right back around for the Penguins, who come up the ice, and we know what happens. Pettersson gets his what we thought was his first goal and game-winning goal. Oh, not so fast, my friend. Slow down. Okay? Looks like there's too many men on the ice, and if you go back and look, I think it was a good call by the refs. Pettersson jumped on way too early. And he was part of the play as well. You know, like that's how he got open on that wing. So goal is immediately disallowed, waved off right from the get-go. No replays or anything like that. The refs were all over it, calling there's too many men on the ice, puts the Devils on the power play, and wouldn't you know it, Dougie comes through with the big shot, making amends, totally redeeming himself here in the OT. Great puck movement by the Devils once again on this 4-on-3 power play. Showed a lot of patience, moving the puck all around. The big four were out there on the ice. Jack, Jesper, Nico, and Dougie. That's a hell of a lineup to put out there, 4-on-3. And they're moving the puck around, trying to it seems like they're trying to set up Jack for that nasty wrister snapshot, you know, from inside the face-off circle there, down low. It didn't seem to be working. They were passing the puck around, over deep down to Nico, back up to Jesper Bratt. They kind of do a little switch of sides, and Dougie Hamilton, instead of being at the point, is now at that spot where Jack Hughes usually is. They eventually find him over there for the big one-timer blast that he puts past Jarry. Jarry had no chance on this one. I don't think you could fault on it because this was just a laser rocket, a freaking laser beam from Dougie Hamilton, high, far side, over the glove for the PPG GWG. That's the power play goal. That's also the game winner for your boy Dougie Hamilton, his 11th of the season at 2:07 of the OT. We got Jack Hughes getting an assist, his 28th, so 2-point game for Jack, 2-point game for Dougie, and your captain, Nico Hischier, still operating at a point per game right now, gets his 24th of the season. Your 3 stars of the game, Dougie gets your first, Vanecek gets your second, old Crosby over there is your 3rd star of the game. Face-offs, Devils had a slight advantage, 52% to 48%. They got the 1 power play goal. They killed off both of the Penguins' power plays. Hits. Noah Hoytuk in the lineup. Devils only have 8 total hits. Okay, I did see Bastian and I did see Ball throw one, but Ball, he looked like he sat out a bunch of games, you know? So we'll see what goes on with him. 19 blocks for the Penguins. That should be no surprise. We've seen that all season long with teams just trying to block as many shots as they can for the Devils because we know the Devils are a shot machine, just creating opportunities with those big four. 13 blocks for the Devs. 5 giveaways, so not too bad. Only 1 takeaway. Shots on goal, 8-2, 12-3 for a total of 25. The Pens, 6-11-9-0 in OT. For a total of 26. Big home victory for the New Jersey Devils, something we haven't seen in a while. We know they've struggled on the home ice for whatever reasons, but they're now 12-10 and 12-10-1 or something like that on the home ice. They're 18-2-2 on the road, which is unreal. But more importantly, with all 3 teams playing 46 games now, The Devils are 2 points behind the Canes for first place, and they are 7 points above the Rangers, who are in third place. Huge, huge victory for your New Jersey Hockey Devils on this Sunday afternoon. I got some questions that I want to ask Sam Wu about this, and I want to know what you think about it. American Whiskey, say hello if you want. Hop on the YouTube page or the Facebook page right now, because you know we're always live here on Devils After Dark. Don't forget to tip your bartenders. There's Peyton pouring out some adult beverages right now. So say hello to our girl and treat her well. YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Twitter Live, Twitch. Say hello. And let's turn it over right now to the king of the football calls himself, Sam Wu, from the not-so-frozen tundra of New Jersey.
Thank you, Scotty. I'll take it from here. Well,
reporting live from New Jersey.
Yeah, reporting
for the
live.
Podcast Network.
Yeah.
I'm Sam Wu.
One day we're going to have like one of those Weather Channel reporting, in the middle of the show.
No, just like ESPN or something like that.
Yeah.
For Devils After Dark, I'm Sam Wu, On location in New Jersey, Sam Wu, Devils After Dark.
Yeah, we'll have to do that. We got to be more professional.
Why Crosby? Oh man, everyone's getting on me on the on the old. I don't know why I kept calling him Crosby. Because he's soft like a berry. Perfect, Max. Thank you.
Look,
go ahead, Sam Wu.
Crosby tastes like Crosby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to get the space balls. I hate Crosby. Who jammed me? Who jammed me with Crosby?
Well, the Devils, the game, Jack Hughes with that goal, it was, I think Jari would like that back, but it was very deceptive. Because it looked like he was going to pass it, but it's a shoot first Jack Hughes. And,
Jack is known for coming up that wing like that and going far side, top shelf. That's like the Jack Hughes signature shot now, I feel like. This season. So I think he would have wanted that one back, but you're right, Sam. He just got tricked up and fooled.
Yeah, and it was a tight game. I thought it was going to be kind of an offensive game when I was predicting for their game day live with Vinny. But the Devils, they're just. Have you noticed, Scotty? They don't panic. Severson almost had that one there. He didn't put the puck in the net in overtime. But, it's good to see Severson playing well, getting those chances. I thought Bratt had some good speed tonight. But Vanecek was just, again, this is where good goaltending can help you win these tight games. I mean, that was just ridiculous. The puck going off the crossbar. And it just, I almost said Crosby.
Hell of a save.
Anyway.
Hell of a save, though, by Vanecek. Just being able to dive back across like that. That's the second time. Yeah, because didn't he do that in the Sharks? I think he did that in the Sharks game as well, if I'm not mistaken, where he dove back and had a nice paddle save as well.
Yeah.
Or was that Blackwood in the Kraken game? I think that was Vanecek in the Sharks game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and just a good victory. I mean, I've said this on Game Day Live and on the Woo Report, the 4 games starting today, you want the Devils to finish strong by All-Star, but they're playing top-quality teams. So, this is a great victory. You gained a point.
4-point game.
Not really, because Penguins got their point too. So it's kind of because being in overtime.
Oh, I meant just in general.
Yeah.
But the Penguins did get a point too. Yeah,
they did get a point. Yep. But again, the Devils are in great position right now because they're behind Carolina. So they
by only 2.
Yep, but they're hungry to be number 1. At the same time that they're piling the points to build and cushion that lead over the ones beneath them. And I think the Devils right now, the next game, one game at a time, the Vegas Golden Knights, they're going to be a tough team. They're, tops in the league. They're going to come out playing, and, the Devils need to take care of business at home. Now now they've won 2 in a row at home, both in extra time, I believe. The Rangers one was in extra time, right? Yeah, so, I don't care how they get these victories. They're getting the victories. And, again, Tuesday's going to be a big game. Then the Thursday, Friday scenario, the back-to-back on the road. But you know what? On the road to us, I take comfort that they are road warriors, that, it may be easier on the road. I don't know why they are so good on the road. But you know what? Could the Devils run the table and get 8 points, by Friday night? It could happen. It could happen.
It could happen. I mean, Vegas is coming in. They're a tough team. Nashville and who do they finish up with? Why can't I remember the back-to-back? The away back-to-back. It's Nashville and someone else. I can't think of I can't think of who it is right now. Oh, and Dallas. I mean, they got some tough teams to play there, Dallas and Vegas. I mean, this was a huge win. I mean, Pittsburgh obviously is no slouches either, but man, I want to give a shout out to JP here on the YouTube chat. I mean, great point here. Nico Hurt still plays almost 15 minutes in this game. 1 assist, 5 shots, blocked a couple others. That's just a true captain right there. Just gutting it out. Even when he's not at his top. And I see a lot of people starting to talk about Bo Horvat. Those Vancouver Canucks blowing everything up over there. Might that be a good option for the New Jersey Devils? I think it's kind of an ironic full circle type of thing, being that the Canucks picked Horvat with the pick that we sent them for the Corey Schneider trade. So, I think Bo is a great player that we should, definitely be keeping our eye on. Timo obviously, but Timo is going to be very expensive, and that's gonna cost some money and have to find some room on that one. But Bo Horvat is an interesting player there to keep your eye on as well. But great game overall here for these New Jersey Devils, especially coming off the the road trip and everything like that, getting back to Jersey, having that afternoon game. It's not even a night game, the afternoon game on a Sunday and everything. Steve Tartaz, if Timo comes, I would think that means that Jesper Bratt may not be around after that, because I don't know how you're going to sign both of those guys. But either way, there's some interesting things going on out there in the league. Vancouver is definitely a place to keep an eye on. San Jose as well. We will see what happens there. Now, I got a question for you, Sam Wu.
What's up?
Yesterday, we all saw the debacle of the New York Football Giants getting their butts kicked by the Philadelphia Eagles. And the Giants, I think they really left a lot of their fans with almost like a bad taste in their mouth. Because the Minnesota game, everybody was pumped. It's like, oh, wow, we actually got to the playoffs. We weren't really expecting that. We get to Minnesota, and we knew Minnesota wasn't the best team, that they got lucky in a lot of those one-score games. But the Giants, they pull it off, and they're looking really good. And then yesterday happens, and the Giants left me, as a Giants fan, with the thought of, like, they way overachieved, and they probably didn't deserve to be in the position that they actually were. Like they kind of maybe got a little luck of the draw with Minnesota, who also is a team that kind of like, what were they, 11-0 in those one-score games? Like, they were maybe a little overrated as well. But the Giants showed that they weren't even in the same class as the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, the Devils, they're also a team that's on the rise. Obviously, they're playing well. How would you feel, Sam Wu? Like, a lot of Giants fans are thinking like, hey, we shouldn't be upset. We got 2 extra games. They actually made it to the playoffs. I would have signed up for this, blah, blah, blah. If the Devils did something like that, I wouldn't feel good about it, because that would make me feel like the Devils overachieved this year. And I don't feel like they're overachieving. I feel like they're achieving the way they should be at this state of the the forever rebuild that's been going on. I'm just curious about, your opinion on that. Say the Devils do make the playoffs and, either A, they win a round or they get blown out. Would that be, we should just be happy? Like how Giants fans are saying, like, we should just be happy that we got to the playoffs and we got to where we were and blah, 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 blah. As a Devils fan, I'm thinking, no, that would make me pissed off if they went in there and they got bounced and they seemed like they didn't belong, in a playoff series. And I'm just curious of your opinion on that. Do you think it's just like, if they get to the playoffs, that's good for them because it's just their growth and their maturity and everything like that? I don't know. I would like to see them not pull a New York Football Giants.
Well,
what do you think about that?
I think you're comparing apples and oranges, not by sport, by the situation. The Giants went into Minnesota, huge upset, and they were on 6 days rest and had to travel back to New York, all that, feeling good about themselves, while the Eagles were well rested and had 2-3 weeks to recuperate and get everything in order. Plus, they had a lot of film on the Giants, prior when they played Minnesota. I think right now is you have to look at the big picture here. The Devils, the more playoff games they play, because it's going to be Jack Hughes' first ever playoff run. It'll be Nico's second, Jesper Bratt's second, Dawson Mercer's first. When the Rangers went far last season riding on Shesterkin, they gained, even Capo Caco and Lafreniere gained just such valuable experience. Every game that went by was another game under their belt. And my expectations with the Devils right now is to make the playoffs and try to stretch it as far as you can. At least try to make it to the next round.
Right. I'm saying if they get smoked like the way the Giants did. Like yesterday, that game was over in the first half. I was sitting there with my friend, and I was just like, it was like the end of the second quarter. It was already 21-0, and I looked at my buddy who's an Eagles fan. I'm like, if the Eagles score a touchdown here, this game is over. It is over, like right then and there. So I mean, like, if the Devils get to playoffs, yeah, great experience and everything like that. But if they make it seem like they're not supposed to be there, kind of like the way the Giants did yesterday, like they're not in Philly's class, Like that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Because a lot of Giants fans, you listen to like talk radio, they're like, oh, yeah, we should be happy with our experience and how far we got and this turnaround, blah, 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 blah. Do I think the Giants are going to be in the same position next year? I don't know. Now it seems to me like they really overachieved. I don't want to think the Devils are overachieving right now. I want to think that the Devils are at the spot where they should be in this, overall.
Well, the Devils get smoked. Again, it's how they get smoked. I mean, the Giants had no energy. They had no energy during the game. And I think that was the most disappointing thing. I tweeted it out that it was a waste of my time. Not because of the score. It was just they were just manhandled. So to answer your question, again, if the Devils were to play, XYZ team and get smoked, again, I think that's just I don't think any of us, just like the Giants, had the expectations that the Devils will be big contenders in the playoffs. But I don't even know how to answer that question. That's probably because that's a tough question. I wouldn't feel that bad.
I'm not tossing you softballs here, Sam Wu. Come on,
Come on, toss me a softball question.
By the way, for everyone listening right now, literally 2 seconds before we went on air, Sam Wu just whispers to me, I don't got my A game today, by the way. And then, boom, music hits to start the show. And I'm like, oh, good.
Well, I've been running around. I was at American Whiskey before. I'm trying to get us on the TV. Finally got on the TV. Then, they took us off the TV because they want to watch football. And, but yeah.
Okay. Well, no, I see from Steve over here, smoked would hurt if they were as long as they're competitive, I feel like good. Like yesterday, that game was not even competitive from the first series that the Eagles had.
From the coin toss, it wasn't.
Yeah, they just marched right down the field. So I guess that's what I was just kind of thinking about in my head because it was on my mind. I'm like, what if the Devils do that? What if they make it to the playoffs and then they just look like they don't even belong there? I'm like, that to me would really hurt because I feel like this team does belong. They may not be, the upper echelon just yet, but I feel like, with this big four that we want to call them, Bratt, Hischier, Hughes, Hamilton, operating the way they are and the young talent that's coming in here that is growing and learning and playing well, I believe that the Devils do belong in the playoffs. So I guess that's just what I was wondering because I feel like a lot of the Giants fans are, and myself included, I'm like, well, we're just pretty happy that we got there, next season may not be as well. I don't want to think that next season for the Devils may not be the same way. I want to think, and I do think that next season for the Devils, they're going to be even better, Like the Giants are like, I don't know how the Giants are going to be next year. They may be 6-10 or 7-9, or they may be 9-7. But you don't think the Giants are going to be 13-4, Well, I don't get that from them. The Devils, I feel like, are just going to keep getting better,
Well, look, if the Devils get smoked in the first round of the playoffs, Tom Fitzgerald, it just says to us that Tom Fitzgerald has more work to do. I think if the Devils were to get smoked in the playoffs, I think it's because of the beefalitics. I think that they would get pushed around just like the Giants got pushed around by the Eagles. And that's where I would be most concerned about. Did they get pushed around or did they just lose games? And I think that kind of smoked. Like the Giants, they were just outplayed in every part of the game. The only highlight the Giants had was Daniel Jones putting back his contact lens in his eye, and the Giants had to burn a timeout to do that. I mean, that was the highlight. And how all that dirt on his helmet didn't get on his contact lens, and the solution was right there. I was very impressed with that. But again, I think if the Devils get smoked, it will give not only Tom Fitzgerald but the fan base as well that you got to beef up. It's the playoffs is a different animal too. Just remember that you can win. You can get 120 points in the regular season in the standings. But once the playoffs come around, who knows? The way these refs are, if they take down Jack Hughes and hit him at every he's going to get beaten up, and if you don't respond, they're just going to manhandle you, the opponent. Okay. So, but if they come in and their beefalitics is through the roof, and the Devils, even though they lost, say if they got swept by the Tampa Bay Lightning or whatever, but they held their own, and there was just a close game and just a bad bounce here and there, I can live with that. But what I can't live with is the team just getting absolutely just murdered like what happened with the Giants. Just physically outmatched. Okay. And even outcoached, by the way, because I think they were outcoached big time.
Yeah. Okay. I was just curious because that's what I was, thinking as well. I was like, man, if the Devils went into the playoffs and they had a performance like that, I would be so disheartened, after everything that we've been doing here in this season. Like, I feel like they should be able to have a better performance against any team, though. In this, I mean, Boston, I think, is just light years ahead of everybody. But other than Boston, in the East, I mean,
thoughts?
They showed they can play with Toronto. They showed they can play with the Canes. Like,
But what were your thoughts? Like, all right, let's go back in time, and you got to be honest with yourself here. I'm going to ask you this question. 2018, when the Devils played the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now, when the Giants, you're basing on like one series, one game against the Eagles, where you at least have 4 games with your opponent, and then you have Game 5. What were your thoughts in 2018 when the Devils pretty much got manhandled?
I wasn't shocked. I mean, as fans, we're all like, we played well against Tampa in the regular season. I don't know, we match up well. Just like I was with the Giants, like last weok. I'm like, Jalen Hurts is still not 100%, blah, 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 blah. And then reality set in, and you're like, yeah, this team has no business doing here. And the Devils back then, it was just all Taylor Hall. It was TH9. It was his season, and that's what drove them, to the playoffs. And when you get to the playoffs, you can't just rely on the one person like that. That's why it's nice that we have our big 4, and they're all continuously putting up points, with Hamilton, Hughes, Hischier, and Bratt. So, back in 2018, I knew the Devils were going to get, you try to have a positive outlook, but the outcome of it was really not that shocking. And it was no surprise to me that the next year that the Devils were bad again. They weren't a good team. And that's the feeling that I had with the Giants, yesterday. I'm like, next year the Giants may not even make the playoffs, The Devils, I'm expecting them to. So I was just curious, about how you were feeling, and just figured with a lot of the, talk in the football playoffs now, just make a little comparison to teams who are rebuilding and, teams that are maybe surprising some people. But I don't think it should be a quote-unquote surprise to everyone that the Devils are playing the way they are. I think it is a surprise the way the Giants played. But I don't think people are really should be surprised at how good the Devils are right now and how much better they're going to be as this team grows and just, gels more and more and more.
Yeah, I mean, speed-wise, the Devils can play with any team, speed-wise, in the league. I'm just worried about their muscle, and I'm worried about their just not responding like what happened. I say if it's Florida versus the Devils and Matthew Tkachuk and all those play. I mean, they manhandled the Devils, in terms of the physicality. I think, but in the playoffs, it's just, again, like it's a different animal. And that, it all depends what even Tom Fitzgerald does at trade deadline. Is he going to beef it up? If he's going to get some of those character players like a Patrick Maroon that, you would want on your roster down the stretch, some of these heavyweights on there, because Jack Hughes and Nico Hischier have to be protected, and even Bratt for that matter. They have to be protected. And once they start hitting, I mean, they risk injury. They take them off their game. But you know what? You got to self-police out there because the refs aren't going to help you. We know that. They never help you. You have to self-police out there. Make sure, look, I would love to have a Tom Wilson on this team. Or as what JP, saying like a Ryan Reeves, although I don't really like him. But you know what? Sometimes you need that pest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Just a little, just a little food for thought, a little conversation. That's all. I just thought I might bring it up. Yeah. Overall, happy with this win, man. Like really, really pumped that the Devils got this one today. Again, like it was a bit of a slugfest. I think everyone was expecting a little bit more offense to be occurring today. Yep. But the Devils, again, much like they did with Seattle, where it didn't seem like they had their A game going, they were able to play that different style, to wait it out, to keep it, tight, to keep this one tied up. And they took advantage of their opportunity in overtime, and that's something that we've seen with this team throughout the season, minus the month of December. But we've seen the Devils actually be able to take advantage of those opportunities. And, those big four, man, they are just putting the points up on the board. Whether it's assists or whether it's goals, they are getting the job done. And when you have those four, when you have them healthy, let's hope that there's nothing, seriously wrong with Nico or anything like that. We have seen him get injured, multiple times. When one of the big four is not out there, this is a different team because they do score so much. So let's hope that Nico is okay. I'm sure we'll get some more reports tomorrow. You know how it always goes. You get out, you're like, oh, okay, and then you sleep on it, and you wake up the next morning, and your body is, just completely sore and screwed over. So let's hope that everything is okay with Nico. I'm sure we won't get any specifics. It'll just be, UBI or LBI. But we'll see exactly what happens, and let's hope for the best for him, that he can go out and just continue to perform the way he has, like a leader, like a captain.
Yeah. Seeing some of the comments, Shane Vanecek, we're a character player away from doing damage. LOL, Sam. I'll tell you, sometimes it just takes one player to inspire an entire team. I mean, it's been well documented. The New York Islanders back in the late 70s, and as soon as they made that trade for Butch Goring, the rest was history. Sometimes, and that was a young team back then. I mean, Chico Resch could attest to it. The Islanders were just missing that one element. And, who is that player? Again, I'm looking for more of the gritty, beefy player, the one that, like you want to talk about grit, Nico Hischier, just playing hurt, playing because his team needs him, and just getting through that. That kind of stuff resonates in the locker room, and on top of that, it sets an example. And another gritty player, great player, Patrice Bergeron on the Boston Bruins. Now, I don't know if you heard, Scotty, but because they're so far ahead in the standing that they are managing his time on the ice, because he is in his late 30s, Bergeron, right, and saving him for the playoffs because the way he plays.
Yeah.
So,
and is this true? Max is telling me that Vanecek is going George Costanza and referring to himself in the third person. Vitek's getting angry. Vitek's gonna blow. I would love to see. I'm gonna have to watch these pressers. If he's talking about himself in third person, oh boy, that puts him at another class right now.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
I'm telling you.
Love me some Vitek Vanecek.
Yeah.
That's what Amanda reported. Okay. All right. I'm going to have to check this out, the Vitek Vanecek presser, where he's talking about himself in third person. All right.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Samuel needs to read more of Amanda Stein's blogs.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm in the
We'll have to take it out. I see Steven here talking about a Bo Horvat. Man, Bo would be a great player, I think, for this team. And Vancouver is in the midst of blowing that bad boy up. They just got rid of Boudreau today, and I can't remember who their assistant coach is, but they let him go as well. Sam's other best friend, besides Damon Severson, Rick Tocchet, is going to be the new head coach of the Vancouver Canucks, who, yes, will never come on the show now because Sam said he eats crab legs like a Neanderthal. So, we wish the best for Toc. Going to miss him on NHL on TNT there. Him and Biz and Anson Carter. Sometimes Gretzky swings by. But congratulations to Tocchet. But yeah, I mean, Vancouver is looking to blow that bad boy up. So I can't see. I don't think Horvat is going to be going back. So will he be on the trade bait? Timo Meier, we've talked about him. Carlson, listen, I don't think we're going to. Carlson has a lot of money. You know, that would be a lot of money. And is he? I don't know how long he signed for. Is he a UFA after this year, or is it?
I don't know.
I
thought he was signed.
I can't
long
remember,
term, but I can't remember.
I thought he was signed real long term as well.
Yeah,
but that's a lot of money for Carlson. Although he still performs. I mean, hell's bells. We were talking about it when they played San Jose. He's already in the 40s for his assist totals and everything like that. The dude is a monster, and he was out there like I feel like he played the entire game against the Devils.
Yeah.
So he can still go, but he is a little bit older, and that price tag on him is just whoo. That's a lot.
If the Devils trade for Horvat, they need to trade Corey Schneider's dead cap space to go back the other way. I can't take it anymore. I can't take it anymore. Just looking at the salary cap, it's like, what the heck are these guys doing here? Is Ryan Close still there?
JP, yeah, for Bo Horvat. I mean, Vancouver fans don't listen to them because they have no idea what they're talking about. No one's going to trade Luke Hughes, Simone Nemec, and a first rounder for Bo Horvat. That's just crazy Canadian fan talk over there. So yeah, I would just ignore that one. Shen is another one who actually might, is probably available and is someone who could probably provide some of that beef and protection that we were just talking about as well. So Vancouver is an interesting team there, and so is San Jose. And what also makes them interesting as well is the fact that they're in the Western Conference, and anyone that we do trade out there, if it does happen, if it does happen, we wouldn't have to see those players very often again. So that's always a nice thing about that. But I think Bo Horvat is definitely an interesting player. Shen could provide some of that grittiness. Obviously, Timo Meier is a bit of a pipe dream, but yeah, I mean, with his $10 million qualifying offer, and Jesper Bratt's probably going to be in the 6 to 7 range over there as well. It just makes your cap space really, really tight. If you're gonna try and re-sign Ryan Graves, what are you going to do with Severson? Obviously a lot of us think he's going to be traded as well. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna put my faith in Tom Fleece-Gerald, as he has done so well so far with this team and rebuilding it and finding some good quality players. Like a John Marino, who hopefully we should have back. I believe he's now listed as day to day. So he's gone from the week to week to day to day. He's been skating with the team. I think the original estimates were end of January. So what are we, January? Was this the 21st, 22nd? So yeah, that's pretty on point there. Hopefully, but I don't know. Do they just hold him out till, after the All-Star break? Or do they try to squeeze him in, after, one of those, the Dallas or the Nashville game? I don't know. I think they probably just hold him out till after the All-Star break. So let him rest, let him recover, and come back. We'll see how that happens. Max misses Anton Volchenkov. Wow. There's one that I haven't seen. The old A-Train. Man, he used to throw the body. And he's another one that would just throw his face at pucks. He would block shots with any part of his body he had available. The old A-Train. He was a force up there. He was in Ottawa, I think, first, right? And then he came down. Yeah.
Because
he eventually lost a step or two, and I think he was a buyout by the end as well. But, yeah, man, he was just a force blocking those shots back there. So we'll see what happens. Oh, Sean Chambers. There's another one. Wow, okay. We're getting all these Victor Kozlov. Man.
I have a Kozlov jersey.
Ryan.
I actually have
Ryan
a
Clough.
Kozlov jersey. 22.
I liked Ryan Clough. It just sucked that he got hurt, and he had a head injury, and that just, what can you do? I mean, obviously, I think the contract that Lou gave him was a little bit overpriced there. But Clo was, he was one that wasn't afraid to drop the gloves and go and mix it up. Even after he had his injury, he went back in there and dropped them. He even went behind the bench as well for a little bit. There near the end of his contract. So really wish it turned out better with Ryan Clo. Again, I thought the contract wasn't the best, but him as a player, that's that attitude that, Sam has been talking about here. That feisty player who will go in and will step up for you. So yeah, it didn't turn out the best, but still liked Ryan Clo. But we should get to you versus Woo right now. We've been talking for a while here about this big Devils victory. It's our score predictions that we've been doing all season long. You can check out Vinny Parisi, Sam Woo, and occasionally Shorts Guy, who's out in Arizona right now. He's going to the old Mullet Arena. I hope he's got his mullet wig on. He's out there with the Hockey on Tap boys. So he's going to be going to see a college. Oh, I'm sorry. It's an actual NHL game. I'm sorry. I thought it was a college game. No, it is an NHL game happening out there at the old Mullet Arena. So let's get to our score predictions right now. Sam Woo, if you could tell us what the host of Game Day Live had for this game, Mr. Vinny Parisi.
What did he say?
Oh, boy.
4-3 Devils. 4-3 Devils.
4-3 Devils. Okay, so nothing. That's an L over there for Vinny Parisi. How about the great Sam Woo?
2-1 Devils. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, what?
No, I was just kidding. There's no way.
Oh.
Yeah.
What'd you have?
6-4 Devils.
Okay, so an L over there as well. Okay. Man, now we're talking about Zidlitsky over here. He did have a really, really nice shot. And Travis Konechny. We got Evolution Golf. What's up there, Evolution Golf? My swing sucks. Always has, always will. But Konechny would be an interesting player, but how often do you see trades between, interdivisional rivals like that? Do we really want to send? I don't even know what we would send down for Konechny, but I mean, it's a nice thought because he has been putting up points on the board. But would you really want to send any of your prospects down to Philly? I don't know. I don't know. That's a tough one over there. But type of player, that can definitely be the Arizona State Coyotes. Oh, man. Yeah, that's basically what it is over there in Arizona. And we'll have some pictures from our good friend Shorts Guy. He's been enjoying the weather out west. To see him with his shades on, the sun reflecting, in the sunglasses and everything like that. I think someone all of a sudden got really used to that West Coast weather in about a day, and that's how it usually happens.
Yeah.
But we wish Shorts Guy all the fun out there in Arizona with the Hockey on Tap crew, going to the old Mullet Arena to see the NHL action. Oh, he just actually texted us. We're heading to the Mullet soon, so perfect. There you go. So happy Shorts Guy's having a good time over there, and he'll go to see the old Yotes. The old Yotes. Oh, Max had a 5-2. He's taking the L on the game today. The score chat. Well, let's wrap it up here. When's the next Devils game? It is what? Tuesday. That's right. It's Tuesday against the Vegas Golden Knights, and that's a 7:30. Oh, that's a 7:30 start, huh? I got 4:30 on my app over here. So we got a 7:30 start. Maybe they got a Seton Hall game or something like that going on at the Prudential Center a little earlier. I'm not really sure. Or maybe the circus is in town. I don't know. But a 7:30 start on Tuesday against the Vegas Golden Knights. You can see us on the big TV screens over there at American Whiskey. So everyone who's at the bar hanging out, make sure you tip your bartenders, Peyton and Alejandra and Frank the Tank, and everybody else that's hanging out over there. Dennis, I think, was another bartender. I haven't met anyone yet because I've been, remote this whole time out here in Cali. But hopefully at some point get to meet the entire crew over there. We have our big event going to be happening on February the 25th for our 500,000 downloads. Big thank you to all of you out there who listen to this show, who listen to Hockey on Tap, who listen to State of the Fan Address, who listen to Game Day Live, who listen to the Let's Go Devils podcast, who listen to the Woo Reports. We are at 500,000 downloads. So thank you so much for all of your love and support as we just, come on here and talk about our favorite team, the New Jersey Hockey Devils. Game in and game out, all of your comments on Facebook Live and YouTube Live, and everyone just checking it out. Thank you for all the likes, follows, and subscribes. Remember, subscribing is free. It just lets you know when we're going live and when the new show is coming on. It is not the Mrs. Wu anniversary present donation center. Although if you would like to make a donation to Mrs. Wu, you most certainly can, because
Only
she puts
on the
up with
Wu
this
Report.
guy, Sam.
On the Woo Report.
Oh, that's only on the Woo Report?
Yeah,
Oh,
Super
okay.
Chat
Excuse me.
proceeds on the Woo Report will go directly to the Mrs. Wu Fund,
Okay.
So, in case I do something bad, I have some funds to make up.
In case you do something bad? You
Yeah.
always do something bad. So, come on,
Yeah.
let's face it over here.
Yeah.
You stole her crown. You stole her queen crown. It's sitting on the Giants helmet over there. That Giants helmet doesn't deserve a crown right now. Woo! Baby. But anyway, we're going to be back in 2 days on Tuesday night from Vegas. Sam will be here with Game Day Live and Vinny Parisi, and then he'll be along with yours truly afterwards for Devils After Dark. And we'll have Hockey on Tap on Monday. We got the big show tonight, Let's Go Devils podcast, later on this evening. And then, State of the Fan Address coming
we got
up on
special
Wednesday.
guest tonight.
Oh, right. We have a special guest.
Yes.
Are we allowed to say who it is?
Yep. Jeremy Katz. We found our pilot. For our $35 million jet. Now we're going to need a $35 million jet. Jeremy
Okay,
Katz.
we found the pilot. So this is the guy that he drew like the little Devils logo, right? In the flight path.
Yeah, he planned his flight path to resemble a Devils logo, and he actually did it. Like, he literally did it. So he didn't actually draw it. That was the actual flight path that he actually flew out in Seattle. That's what
Really?
Yeah. Yep. You
didn't get fired for that? Just driving around in circles like that, trying to draw a picture in the air?
I don't know.
Wow.
He's not a commercial pilot. He's probably a single engine pilot.
Gotcha.
That kind of pilot.
Okay.
I'll tell you more stuff after this podcast.
We'll tell everyone they can listen later tonight then. And okay, so I get it now. I thought he was like, United Airlines or American Airlines pilot or something like that. Okay. All right, makes a little bit more sense now. Gotcha. Well, tonight on the big show, 9 p.m. Eastern time, Jeremy Katz will be along, and you'll be able to hear a little bit more from him. Beer Baron will be there. He's been very excited to talk to him. And we'll see how it goes. So make sure you check out the big show tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, and of course, Game Day Live, Devils After Dark, once again, Tuesday, 4 o'clock, or no, 3:30 start time, or I'm sorry, 6:30 on the East Coast, 3:30 for me.
Wow. All right, we're out. I'm going to do the Hockey on. I'll share the Hockey on Tap podcast at Mullet Arena. Let's see how that goes for Schwimm's bachelor party. Devils. Let's Go Devils podcast, 9 p.m. Eastern tonight. Jeremy Katz is what Scotty said. Till next time, let's go Devils.